What common prefixes are used to create antonyms in vocabulary? Have you ever wondered how we can take a word and flip its meaning just by adding a few letters at the start? This is where prefixes come into play, especially when we talk about antonyms. Antonyms are words that mean the opposite of each other, and using prefixes is a common way to create them in English. Let's take a closer look at some of the most common prefixes used to form antonyms and see how they work. One of the most widely used prefixes is un. This prefix means not or opposite of. For example, when we add un to the word happy, it becomes unhappy, which means not happy. Similarly, kind turns into unkind, meaning not kind. You might say, she wasn't happy with the results of the test. Next, we have the prefix dis. This prefix also means opposite of or not. It comes from Latin and is used in words like agree, which becomes disagree, meaning not agree. Another example is appear, which turns into disappear, meaning to cease to appear. You could say they disagree on the best solution. Another set of prefixes includes in, im, il, and These prefixes all mean not or without, but they change depending on the first letter of the base word for easier pronunciation. For instance, visible becomes invisible, meaning not visible. The word possible turns into impossible, meaning not possible. You might say, the invisible ink made the message hard to read. Then there is the prefix non, which also means not or without. This prefix is often used in more formal vocabulary. For example, fiction becomes non-fiction, meaning not fiction. Another example is toxic, which turns into non-toxic, meaning not toxic. You could say, this is a non-fiction book about history. We also have the prefix mis, which means wrongly or badly. This prefix indicates incorrect action rather than just the opposite. For instance, lead becomes mislead, meaning to lead wrongly. The word inform turns into misinform, meaning to inform incorrectly. You might say, he was misinformed about the meeting time. Lastly, there is the prefix anti, which means against or opposite. This prefix comes from Greek and is used in words like social, which becomes antisocial, meaning against social behavior. Another example is clockwise, which turns into anti-clockwise, meaning the opposite direction. You could say, she took antivirus software to protect her computer. Understanding these prefixes helps expand vocabulary by showing how words change meaning when prefixes are added. For example, knowing that legal becomes illegal with the prefix ill shows how the meaning flips. Using prefixes to form antonyms is a foundational skill in vocabulary building. It allows learners to guess the meanings of new words and use them correctly in sentences, improving both comprehension and expression.